Welcome back to the Ancestral Findings podcast. When you talk to people who are just starting out in genealogy, you often hear the same question. Isn't there already a giant family tree out there that has everyone on it? It sounds like such a simple solution. Instead of hunting through courthouses, archives, or old church records, why not just plug your family name into this so-called master tree and let it do the work for you? It is an idea that feels almost too good to be true, because it is. The picture is tempting. Imagine a single tree where everyone is already linked together, where all the names and dates are correct, and where all you have to do is find your place on it. No hours of research, no weighing of evidence, no chasing down confusing records, just one big chart that unlocks your entire past in seconds. You can understand why people want to believe it. Advertisements from genealogy companies make it sound almost real. They talk about discoveries you can make in minutes, hinting that the work is already done and you just have to click. Add to that the family stories we have all heard, like, "Your cousin already traced us back to the Mayflower," or "Grandma's book from the 1970s has the whole tree," and it is no wonder the myth took hold. The truth is that a flawless master family tree does not exist and probably never will. There are shared trees online. Ancestry, Family Search, MyHeritage, and Jenny all allow users to post their family lines, and some of them even stitch those lines together into giant collaborative trees. At first glance, this looks like the master tree people imagine, but when you dig deeper, the cracks appear. Shared trees are filled with errors. Ancestors are duplicated again and again, sometimes with different spellings, sometimes with completely different details. Names get confused. A John Smith in Kentucky gets merged with a John Smith in Virginia, and suddenly whole branches are tangled together that should never connect. Many of the dates and places listed in these trees appear without a single document to prove them. And perhaps worst of all, mistakes spread quickly. Once an error gets copied by a few people, it starts to look like fact simply because it shows up everywhere. This is what we sometimes call copy-paste genealogy. People import other trees wholesale without checking the details, and the errors multiply. A famous example of this is the claim that countless Americans descend from Charlemagne. Mathematically, that is probably true, but the specific trees people share often bridge centuries with no evidence at all. The names look impressive, the chart looks solid, but the chain of proof is weak. I once worked with a researcher who thought she had discovered her royal lineage. An online tree linked her directly to medieval England. According to this file, her 18th century farmer in Virginia was the son of a 14th century knight in Yorkshire. That would have been remarkable, but there was a glaring problem. The tree skipped 4 generations in between, and there were no records to connect the two men. The tree had simply filled the gap with imagination. Hundreds of other users had copied it, and soon it looked like accepted truth. That is the danger of believing in a master tree. Even if every genealogist on Earth came together to build a single tree, it would never be complete or perfectly accurate. Records are incomplete. Not every family left a paper trail. Evidence often conflicts. 2 different documents may give 2 different fathers for the same child. Which one is right? Cultural practices also complicate things. In some traditions, children were raised by relatives or adopted informally, and those details rarely appear in official records. Stepfamilies, name changes, and blended households can all confuse the structure of a neat linear tree, and then there are the mistakes of the past. Old genealogies sometimes invented noble connections to make families sound more prestigious, and those errors echo forward into today's databases. So does that mean shared trees are worthless? Not at all. They can be useful if you know how to handle them. A shared tree might point you to cousins who are researching the same branch. It might highlight record collections you would not have thought to search. It can even provide clues about family migrations, showing patterns of movement across counties or countries. The key is to treat everything in those trees as a lead rather than a fact. If you decide to use them, there are a few simple rules that will save you trouble. Always look for attached sources. If there are none, be cautious. Verify claims with original records whenever possible. Do not stop at an index or transcription. Look for the full document, whether that is a birth certificate, a land deed, or a probate packet. Be suspicious of sudden leaps across centuries or oceans. If a tree jumps from a farmer in 1800 to a knight in 1400 without evidence, you can be almost certain it is wrong. Keep your own work carefully documented so others can follow your reasoning. And if you see another researcher with your ancestor in their tree, consider reaching out. They may have something valuable, like a family Bible or old letters that you have never seen. The reason this myth matters so much is because it shapes how people approach genealogy. Believing in a master tree encourages shortcuts. It tempts you to copy whole branches without checking them. That not only spreads mistakes, it takes away the very heart of the hobby. The joy of genealogy is not in having a ready-made chart handed to you. It is in the detective work, the discovery, the moment when you connect the dots yourself. That is what makes it meaningful. So, does a master family tree with all the answers exist? No. What exists are millions of partial trees built by different researchers with varying levels of skill and accuracy. Some of those trees are careful and well-sourced. Others are riddled with errors. None of them are flawless. The real story is that genealogy is personal. It is about building your own tree, one record at a time. It is about weighing evidence and sometimes accepting that a mystery remains unsolved. Shared trees can be useful as tools, but they are not gospel. The only tree you can trust is the one you build yourself, verified with records, crafted with care, and strengthened by the pride of your own discoveries. That should not discourage you. In fact, it should inspire you. It means every discovery belongs to you. Every ancestor you uncover is one you brought into the light. Every connection you prove is earned. There may never be a master tree for the entire world, but there can be your tree, carefully built and deeply meaningful. And in the end, that is far more rewarding than any shortcut could ever be. If you've got a hard-to-find ancestor you're stuck on, I'd love to hear about it. Just head over to ancestralfindings.com and click on Contact to send me a message. While you're there, take advantage of our free weekly genealogy lookups. Explore thousands of articles and enjoy hundreds of podcast episodes. We've been helping family history researchers since 1995. And if you're looking for even more, check out our Genealogy Gold Q&A series over on Patreon. Thanks for listening. And as always, happy searching.